Mike Madrid talks a lot about housing on this damn podcast because he's a nerd. And it's almost like Ruben was listening to the podcast because this morning, Senator Ruben Gallego rolls out housing policy and how to smartly build 8 million new units across the country, affordable. He called it strong and sturdy so that they could, withstand floods and hurricanes, but then also getting rid of lots of red tape because it does no good to talk about building 8 million houses if it takes you 20 years to do it. He's positioning himself. You can kind of see now he has good people around him, but he's also talking to folks about what they care about, Mike.
He's advocating for the Latino community. That's what this is about. It's obviously for everybody from a policy perspective, but the community that is the most disproportionately impacted by housing are Latinos. You cannot solve the affordability crisis until you solve the housing crisis. Because when you're paying 40, 50% of your income on rent or a mortgage, you know what the price of everything else is. You know what the price of eggs is. You know what the price of gas is. You know what the price of your energy costs are to heat your home. 1 in 5 Latino men are employed in the construction industry or related field. We are the home building constituency. That's 20% of the Latino GDP is housing construction. And on the other side, we're the ones disproportionately affected by being able to buy a home. So housing policy, you don't have to say it's a Latino policy, but it is de facto. We build the homes and we need to buy the homes. And I'm glad that I'm, hip side with Ruben Gallego on this in the Senate, because this is a long overdue discussion that the Democratic parties need to have. This is a reckoning. We need to build millions of more housing units. You can't be pro-immigrant unless you're pro-housing. You can't be pro-worker unless you're pro-housing. You can't be pro-democracy unless you're pro-housing. You know why? You're 300% more likely to vote if you own a home as compared to renting.
That's absolutely true.
So don't tell me that you're pro-democracy if you're not pro-housing first.
If you look at the video that Ruben put out, one of the things that he said, there's been a lot of housing stuff said over the years, but he looked at the camera and to Mike Madrid's point, he said, the people building the house should be able to buy the house.
Yeah.